Hey everybody, this is Smashing Game Time. We are back to full strength this week. Josh, we love to have you back.
Great to be back.
I guess that was your intro. Fuck, I'm sorry. And then to my bottom left is the other brother who ain't going nowhere. That's Jake.
Yeah, I don't go anywhere. That's it. That's my intro.
That's his intro. And as always, I'm Nick. Today we are taking a break from looking back at games from years past, and we're actually looking at a show from just this past month. Premiered in June. Finale was just last week. We're looking at Players from Paramount Plus. Jake, it knocks out it like it doesn't like your bow 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 bow, like it cuts out half your bows. By the way,
Yeah,
it did it again.
It did. You go like, and then it stops.
It stops. It doesn't like you at all.
Okay, that's better.
So before we get into the show though, let's banter a little bit. Josh is just getting back from Florida. He's looking. Is that a MAGA flag behind you, Josh? I'm concerned.
No, it is not. No, it is not. Don't you worry. The only thing I brought back with me is COVID.
Oh, you got COVID?
Really? Again?
No, no, I did not get COVID. Andy's mom got COVID.
Oh,
Man, your family sucks.
I mean, Jake, you're a part of that family, so
I know. It sucks.
fair enough. No, like it wasn't that bad. Brought back a little bit of a tan, a little bit of a debt, and some good times, some good memories.
What part of Florida were you in?
Basically the Floribama line, like more towards Florida, it's like 2 condos away from literally Floribama.
Like Montgomery?
Like you want specific, like county? Like we were in Pensacola.
I know where that's at.
Okay, that's where we were at. Same place as last time. Jake.
Kind of near Matt and Faith.
Yeah, about an hour I think away from Matt and Faith.
Yeah. Did you go to? Did you check out any game stores down there? I know we went to that one last year.
I contemplated it. There's a couple of them just because I've been looking for obviously my retro collection. I'm looking for an N64, looking for a Xbox 360, and there was one guy who had. No, it's not that I'm having a hard time. I just don't want to drop an arm and a leg on this stuff when I know that you can go to like a retro game store and find them for a decent price.
Well, I don't think you're the only person thinking that.
I know I'm not the only person thinking that.
I think retro game stores kind of like got an idea of what they were sitting on and actually like sell it at the price you'd probably find it online these days anyway.
So there was one place this guy had the Peacock N64. Selling it for $100. Everything worked. Come with the controller, everything, even the expansion RAM. Selling it for $100, and I looked it up. I think it was like eBay. The cheapest one I could find was like $200. I'm like, that's half the price, and it didn't even come with the expansion RAM.
What was the
Peacock
N64?
That one is the. I just looked it up the other night. I can't remember. It is the. We're gonna look it up real quick. Hold on.
Because when you say peacock, it makes me think of like the see-through rainbow ones.
So it is technically like the bluish one, if I remember correctly.
Oh, like the purple one?
No.
I see it. It's kind of like an aqua color.
Yeah, I believe that is technically what they called the peacock, even though it's technically not peacock. It's more of like the futuristic blue, I think what it was called, or iceberg blue.
It reminds me of when M&M's had that voting where you were voting on the new color of M&M's to be added to the bag, and I think Aqua ended up winning.
Yeah,
that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, so he had that, and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, it was tempting, but I ended up not pulling the trigger.
I'm sorry, Josh.
Yeah, it's okay. There's multiple opportunities.
Yeah, I would have ended up behind your TV for months until you told Andy that.
So I don't know if Andy listens to this, but Andy, Josh is hiding consoles that he buys behind his TV.
Behind the TV.
Behind the TV, Andy.
Behind what TV? I'm confused. What? Okay, what console am I hiding behind the TV?
At your
right
last
now?
place, you were hiding. Weren't you hiding a PS5 behind the TV?
Oh, it's the PS4. It was the PS4 behind the TV. Yes.
Who wouldn't go look behind the TV?
You know what? That was a good spot. Now who's going? Unless you know what? Unless she was coming down and had to plug something in for like an app or something.
Josh, can you plug this in for me?
She goes to plug it in. What the fuck is this, sir? You had a PS3. Now I know how to count. This is not a 3 on this fucking box.
I just the way you said that, it just makes me think of Daniel Tosh as one of his stand-ups. What the fuck?
I need to rewatch his stuff. It's been
It's all on Paramount.
last one he did was People Pleaser.
I don't remember.
And I remember he
Right.
tweeted about it and he was looking for alternative names just as like a gag for his show. And I didn't get one on there, but I thought it was really good. I sent him Peephole Pleaser. One of my better jokes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I've just been watching a lot of TV. Got through Players last week. I needed a palate cleanser to watch some other stuff. So I watched After Party on Apple Plus, which was really good. Really great casting. It's just about this after party after this high school reunion where somebody dies and Tiffany Haddish comes in to solve it. Now they're doing a season 2. So it's kind of like it's TV's Knives Out with Tiffany Haddish solving a crime every season. Season 2 is apparently about a wedding. So that'll be really good. And then I started that Nathan Fielder show I was telling you guys off the air, The Rehearsal. That's been crazy. Anyone mildly interested in Nathan Fielder or just weird TV that isn't like anything else, go watch The Rehearsal. And then another show, I had a friend recommend this because we started talking about Rick and Morty coming back in September. And he was like, hey, you should watch Primal. It's from the same guy, and I think it's a lot of the same people who did Samurai Jack. And it's about a caveman whose family is killed by T-Rexes.
I've seen that before.
And then there's a T-Rex where that T-Rex's family is killed by the same T-Rexes. And so they team up to survive. And there's not a line of dialogue. The only thing anyone says is, ah, and then stab, 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 stab. And that's it.
Yeah, you could have too.
Yeah, I knew I would. But so really, like, because you think, oh, this show without dialogue, this is going to drag out. No, like everything they're doing. So like, you guys remember the snake episode of Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Where there's like a good 5-minute portion, like 5 minutes
there's
spread
them
out throughout
hissing
that
at each
episode
other.
where there's hissing and there's not really anything being said, but you get what's
Yes.
going on.
Yes.
It's a lot like that. Like it's just this man and this dinosaur trying to coexist. Like I started the second episode before jumping to Nathan Fielder, and the guy's trying to hunt wild boar, but he's got this T-Rex that's with him that keeps on killing him before he can get him. And so like it's like the growing pains of him growing with this dinosaur. And I'm gonna get back into it. There's 10 episodes in the first season, and I think season 2 is going on right now. And I think the way it lines up, it'll be over by the time Rick and Morty season 6 starts, which is a weird sentence because remember, for the longest time, it was the first 2 seasons of Rick and Morty and nothing else.
Well, speaking of Rick and Morty, did you guys see that they had like a Vindicators prequel?
Like they did like a short or something with the Vindicators?
Yeah, I think it's on YouTube. I think it came out like last week.
I'd have to check that out.
I haven't watched it yet. I've been watching. I've watched Terminal List with Chris Pratt. It was like one of those. Oh, I'm indestructible. Like you can't kill me. Kind of shows. You know how those are.
So
Chris
basically,
Pratt.
every other like Jason Bourne
Bourne,
sound
yes,
saying
it's
like
exactly like
nobody
that.
can stop him. Oh my God, it's Jason Bourne.
Not to be
parents
that I
were
had a
dead.
tweet guy, but there was a story about that show, and it was him in a hat from that show. It's like TV has paid 80 million. Like there was some astronomical amount of money has paid 80 million to train Chris Pratt with military expertise. And I quote tweeted it and said, "What the fuck are they doing in that Mario movie?"
And then I started watching Harley Quinn yesterday.
How is
It's-
it? That's something I thought about clicking on the other day.
It's okay. Like I feel like it's very graphic for sure. Like in language, but
Language.
and violence, I guess. But like every sentence is an F-bomb.
Edgy. It's so edgy.
Oh,
So
Like-
you're telling
like
me
the
first out of the box.
if I liked
Like the-
films The Joker, then I will like this edgy cartoon.
Like honestly, I think the Joker, because I only watched the first 2 episodes. The Joker is probably the most annoying character in the show right now.
Joker's
But that's
just an
only from
annoying
the
character
first
overall.
2. Let's say I do like the joke where Harley Quinn's telling Batman that this guy fucks bats. But
Okay,
And
this is
they-
the show. I think this was last year or a year and a half ago, where I think they wanted to do a joke about Batman going down, and DC put their foot down. And was like, heroes don't do that.
yeah,
That's not true.
Batman is not a graceful lover. The whole time he's
And
like,
yeah.
my parents are dead. Hey, Batman, could you stop that? Could you stop talking? Just do your thing down there.
That's why he doesn't go down.
Exactly why.
This reminds me of my mom and dad.
And they make
my
Commissioner
God.
Gordon. They make Commissioner Gordon look like a crazy person.
I thought you were rounding the corner to be like, Commissioner Gordon eats ass in that show.
He does. And then I actually watched the Robert Pattinson Batman a couple days ago. It took me forever.
So we've all seen it now, right?
Yes, we've all seen it now.
What did you think, Jake?
I liked it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they're gonna do the sequel. I really don't.
I'm getting really tired of like this is the real world Batman. Just fucking do a Clayface, you guys.
I want a Clayface.
Like if that Joker, so we can all that was the Joker talking to the Riddler at the end, right?
Yeah.
If they pulled some batshit, no pun intended, crazy twist where like there's a breakout and that turns out to be Clayface disguised the Joker, I'd be like, I'm fucking in. Let's go. Let's fucking watch this. But so the Batman, the first 10 minutes of that movie are terrifying. There's lightning, it's Halloween, people are robbing, and you're just sitting there waiting for Batman to appear. And like I loved that feeling of dread from the first 10 minutes of that movie. Mm-hmm. And I didn't feel it anywhere else though. There's
another thing though about that scene with the Joker that Jackie pointed out. That you could see his teeth, and like his teeth are kind of like messed up, kind of like Two-Face messed up. So it makes you question if that's not actually Joker and it's actually Two-Face.
Are we talking like half of the teeth or all of the teeth?
Like you could see like one like this side, but like you could see it's like messed up.
Okay.
Like,
I'd be okay if it's Two-Face even. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, like a new take on Two-Face would be great. Like I'd be okay with a Two-Face that wasn't well put, like all put together. Because I mean, Batman's Rogue Gallery, they're all fucking nuts. They're all crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
And I feel like I like the Dark Knight trilogy. I don't know. I don't need a well put together Two-Face in my Batman. Like I want someone off the fucking rocker.
No, and I think that's what I enjoyed most about the Riddler being in this, and just the way they portrayed his character. With at the beginning, it truly was about I am vengeance, and then at the end, it makes Batman question like, am I really the vengeance, or am I fueling everything that's wrong with the city now?
And that scene of him with the flare leading them out of the water. Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful shot, and I think like really that being like the core message of the film. Like, yeah, I'm fucking scary. I am vengeance, but look what, like you said, look what vengeance is building around me.
Right. So he's showing to those like, hey, if you've done no wrong and you need help, come to me. Like, follow the light.
That twist at the end where the Riddler's talking to Batman and he says Bruce Wayne, and you're like, he found out. You're like, no, he's just obsessed with fucking Bruce Wayne because I'm a little foggy on it. It's been a few months, but I guess he saw Bruce Wayne as this like high and mighty person who wasn't doing anything, so that's why he wanted to kill him.
Yeah, and he's like, he was basically the only one who got away because Alfred's the one who opened the package and was hurt.
That's why Schmeagol got blown up.
Yeah, that's why Schmeagol got blown up.
Precious Brucey.
So I realized that the Riddler in the movie was the kid from Prisoners. Do you remember that movie that movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman?
Prison? You know what else he was in? He was one of the goofy kids in The Girl Next Door. One of the goofy friends. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that was him. It was one of those. I remember because I was sitting on a toilet. Like it was a total fucking Breaking Bad moment where I looked up his IMDb and it was like, he's in that? He's great in it. He plays a great 4chan edgelord that has like some followers.
Yeah. That's basically what it is.
Hold on, guys. I'm about to really blow your minds with this fact. You ready for this?
Oh, shit. Here we go.
When the sun came out on Robert Pattinson's character, he sparkled. Did you see that?
Was that just like a tongue-in-cheek? Like, yeah, we know where the fuck he came from.
Yeah,
everybody
basically.
You know what? Have you guys seen The Lighthouse?
I've seen parts of it. I have not seen all of it.
I don't think so.
Watch The fucking Lighthouse. He is amazing in that. Like
both him and what's his name?
Him and Dafoe. Him and William Dafoe are great in it. People give him shit for those, but him and what's her name? Like have both like done a great job to like push that back and be like, no, we're more than just that. I think they do better than a lot of the Harry Potter kids.
I agreed. But I still think Harry himself, I can't think of his name to save my life right now.
Daniel.
Yeah, Radcliffe.
He's gonna be
He's
Weird
getting
Al in a
there.
movie coming up.
He's done some weird movies and shows, like the one where he has guns nailed to his hands.
Hell
Oh, where
yeah.
he's the
Akimbo.
dead body, right?
No, that's a different movie.
Oh,
But
what?
I heard he actually. Damn it! But Akimbo, who he has 2 guns nailed to his hands, and he's playing some game. It's like life or death game. It's the dumbest, weirdest movie you'll ever watch. Like it's on Amazon.
I would.
But I think
Sorry, go ahead, Josh.
I was just saying, I think he was at that point though where he would take just about anything to show everybody that he was more than just Harry Potter. And that's I feel bad for actors or actresses who are labeled to one thing. Like they're more than just that.
I would
Like, give
put
them a
Daniel
chance.
Radcliffe, and I don't mean to do this because I don't mean to do the Harry Potter Lord of the Rings thing, but I'd put him in the same category as Elijah Wood. Like they are in
Yeah.
other things, but
It's
they're very
overshadowed.
weird things that they're in.
Oh, like Wilfred.
Elijah Wood was in Wilfred. He was in a horror movie. I forget what it was called. He played someone's like uncle, and he looked like Freddie Mercury. Like he looked like a porn star. I've always thought Freddie Mercury looked like a porn star with a mustache, but
Oh,
he's in a lot of weird stuff. And I think Elijah Wood does more producing more than anything these days.
mhm. Daniel was in that one movie recently with Sandra Bullock, and yeah,
dude.
I
Oh,
watched that. It was okay.
Fantasy Island or something.
Yeah, it was okay. It's on Paramount.
You know, Paramount seems to be the app to have right now.
Yeah, it's got a lot of good stuff on it.
Except for Halo. Sorry.
Yeah. Wait, you telling me you don't want to see Master Chief's ass in every
Jake, please
every
refer to
episode?
our Lord and Savior as Master Cheeks.
Master Cheeks.
Yes, sir, Master Cheeks. All right, before we get into players, you guys, let's do the old radio podcast talk. Guys, as always, we are a member of the Trident Network. Go check out some of our wonderful sibling podcasts. They're out there. Have you guys checked out any sibling podcast?
Have you even checked up ours?
I have. I've checked out Fancy Pants a few weeks ago. It's actually done by a friend I made out in Chicago. And remember the My Pillow video that I was in? He was the guy who directed that. So check out. I believe it's called Fancy Pants. I'll look up the name by the end of the show just to be sure. But it's fun. A lot of great voices in there. I think he's got a lot of talented voice actors in that as well. Guys, who's ready to talk players?
I'm ready.
Eyes on the LCS trophy. With greatness comes high expectations.
I don't have regrets. I'm proud of my legacy.
Ooh, epic.
Esports is one of the biggest sports in the world.
When most fans think about fugitive gaming, they think of one name, and that's cream cheese.
I put him right up there with best all time.
I've played in huge arenas, gotten a ton of girls. I bought a Porsche.
Cream cheese has a bit of a reputation for being
Hey, buddy.
annoying.
Oh, it makes me want to watch it again.
It's so good, honestly.
Ah, my gosh. So for those who don't know, Players is a mockumentary show on Paramount Plus. If you don't have Paramount Plus, I'm sure they have free trials that you can get for a week and watch the whole show and then cancel.
Cancel.
It's from the creators Dan Peralt and Tony Ascenda. They did what was it called? I think it's called American Vandals on Netflix. I've only seen parts of the first season. It's about somebody pooping in the urinal and they're trying to figure out who did it. It reminded me of South Park, so that's why I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this.
That sounds hilarious.
Guys, this show is great. End of podcast.
And
This is a show no one's talking about either. Like,
Which is baffling.
You don't even have to be a League of Legends fan.
no, so that's one thing I was super worried about going into it because I know shit about League. I don't know a damn thing. Only thing I know about League is it's a MOBA. MOBAs were basically born from a custom game mode or a modded game mode from Warcraft 3 that created Dota. League of Legends is eating Dota's shit, right? Or eating their League of Legends is one of the most popular games. Maybe Valorant's more popular right now. I'm not sure.
I would say it's a toss-up. Just depends on the genre and how big of a pool you're talking about.
But it's, oh my god, like this show, like, yeah, I was super concerned because like they are using the terms. They're saying like mid. They're using the characters'
Bots.
names.
Yeah, I mean everything you can, like, honestly, for a show. Okay, so if you look at like Halo, for example, where they didn't use the source material, and I understand it's two different sets of companies developing these, or producing them. You look at Halo that has so much lore and everything to it, and you have like all these resources, and they don't really use it. And then you come to this, and you're like, oh god, they're going to do something similar. No, they used a lot of the terminology. They used a lot of the actual team names that actually play. Like, yeah, obviously it wasn't the real people on the team, but they did a fantastic job with the research.
And they did it perfectly. Like, yeah, they were working with some people over at Riot. Like Riot, like gave them their full blessing, and Riot's full spin right now, getting their other stuff like Arcane. They have a few other shows that I can't think of off the top of my head, but they're spinning the wheels and they want to get their stuff out into other mediums. I think the mockumentary style lends itself really well to this kind of story. I remember I was super worried about how this is going to pan out when it was announced. Was it this time last year or earlier, 2021?
Yeah, something like that.
And they blew my freaking mind away. Like, definitely my one of my favorite shows in the last 10 years.
And it does more than just like make it like a documentary kind of feel, but like it also shows you in like the insider of, I guess, esports orgs, going into streaming and making content. Like it gives you everything.
Yeah, it shows you like what professionals go through and even what streamers go through. Like it really does a well job showing like, hey, people, and it's one of the comments they actually make in one of the episodes talking about like, yeah, is you talk to these kids in high school and you think they're losers, but then they're doing this shit and they're doing better than you ever did. Like, yeah, you could have gone to college and played D3 basketball and done nothing after that. But these kids are turning into adults, are making millions of dollars playing a video game, and then on top of that, their training regimen is completely different compared to a standard sport.
And it's just to wind back on what you guys mentioned. Yeah, on the business side, like I didn't think it was going to get into the business side as much as it did with the sale of the team, with the origin story of how they first put themselves up for sale. They made $1 million and then the team ends up being worth like
35 million
eventually. And for them to put it up in a game,
the Mundo tag.
Yeah.
What side was Guru, on the sell or no sell side?
Guru was on the no sell because he's like, why would we take the first big offer we get? They're like, that we're worth more than that. He knew they were worth more than that.
And I think ultimately that moment is when Guru decided, like, I'm going to get my one game in and then leave for Nightfall.
Oh, for sure.
Because yeah, it also balances the line between competitive and streamer, which I think for anyone outside of that space, like, doesn't really see a difference. Because like esports, like you go on Twitch, like they have LCS games up. They have what's the ESL? They have ES. Like I watched StarCraft games on there. Like I think people don't really see like, and you know what? There's a lot of animosity in the show between the streamers and the athletes. Like it almost felt like as a former college football player, it almost felt like the animosity you feel between either teams on a campus or athletes and then fraternity, sorority people. Like it almost felt like that kind of animosity.
Well, yeah, because you take it into consideration when you're a streamer, you're normally a solo. You're used to playing by your rules, do what you have to do to win. Where in the professional or the esports, it's not just you, it's a team. You have to be able to communicate. You have to be able to change strategies. You can't just go like, and that's like the whole premise, I think, with one of the characters, Cream Cheese. It's with him, he thinks he has to do everything on his own like a streamer does, but he fails every time he does it. And the Organism is also learning that at the same time.
Let's get into Cream Cheese a little bit. So Cream Cheese is our main character. He is at the old retiring esports age of 27. You guys are 28, right?
We're way past our prime.
Don't even, man.
Did this show make you, like, as the resident 30-year-old on the show, this show made me feel a little old?
Yeah, because from my perspective, and if you're like at our age, you're known as the old person in esports.
You're the old head.
It's very rare that you see people continue to play professional because it's hard. You get new talent coming out. They have faster reaction times. Like the older you get, your reaction kind of narrows down to nothing.
Well, not only that, but you have to consider the fact that at that point, League of Legends at this point was out for 10 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, he was there probably from the beginning where you had like Organism, for example, who's 17 and he's new. So like Cream Cheese had been there since the beginning. So there's all these different changes, all these different nerfs, all these different buffs, new maps, new game, all this stuff where Organism is still new and fresh. Like he's used to all the stuff that's currently on there. Or Cream Cheese is like reminiscent about the old days and has to learn all this new stuff and change his strategy over time.
Well, it's not just that. It's the fact that
but that's part of it.
Yeah, he's a team player. He's a support, but he carries himself like he's not a support player, which is crazy because if you look a little deeper into him, that keyboard, that disgusting fucking keyboard he kept on bringing up, he had to break into his parents' house to get that back because they weren't supportive of him. This is a guy who his parents, like, even though he was like, I guess one of the top players, like his parents did not give a shit, and they never came around. And then you look at his other relationships. You look at his relationship with Foresight, very clingy. Like, so by the time we see Cream Cheese, so his parents have turned their backs on him.
Guru.
Well, we'll get to Guru in a minute, but him and Foresight have had a falling out because Foresight got traded and they're not really gelling anymore. Guru fucked off and went and started streaming. Him and the current guy that he is backing up, I forget his name. Is it Badger?
He
looks like a badger.
Fruger.
Him and Fruger are chill. And then, but you also have this girlfriend that comes into the picture. So what you see is, while Cream Cheese is very about his business, very me, number one, he's also a guy that kind of he has these codependent relationships with these people. He's very there's a term in streaming, it's almost parasocial, it feels like he is supporting this person who is doing this thing that he wants to do. So be it Foresight, be it I don't know how good Frugger was compared to the other guys, be it Organism, he is latching on to them. And then at a point, like, he has this girlfriend and he's latching onto her doing things that she likes to do, like that hiking. They went to that Britney Spears concert in Las Vegas. So it's almost a comment on the parasocial aspect of gaming and streaming, which another thing that I don't think any of those older guys consider is that the reason Organism came up, like, yes, esports are a great thing, but the reason that he was able to latch onto it and then grow into it was because of streaming. He grew up watching those people on streams. So, I mean, it's one of those, like, damn, like, they hate each other, but they kind of need each other to thrive.
Yeah.
And he's got my favorite line, when he does a shot of anal angst. It's a good line. Like, that's a great name for a hot sauce. I'm sorry. I'm going to Google it on a private window and see if it's a real thing.
I won't even do it on a private. I'll do it right now publicly.
While I Google anal angst, will you guys go ahead and talk about Organism?
Yeah.
So Organism, I like Organism. I love his tenacity. He really wants to be the best, and no matter what it takes, he'll play like hours out of the day, no breaks, and I love that in a competitor. But I see the backlash in that because, like, you could keep playing all you want. Just because you're number one in the leaderboards doesn't mean you're the best player in the damn game. Because from my perspective, we've had players become number one, maybe top 5 in the game on the leaderboards. But when it comes to competitive, like, when it counts, they fall short all the time. So the ladder is just a ladder. Yes, it might look good on paper, but that's it.
That begs the question then, Jake, is what's more important, going to an official competition like the LCS and winning it, or being the best player known out there in solos by streaming? Because not everybody's going to be like, for example, I don't have the time or the energy or the money to go to a tournament. But I could sit here and play, every single day after work and be like one of the best players. Does that not make me one of the best players just because of that?
So when it comes to being, I guess, a well-known player in a video game, whatever, there's many ways to go by it. You can be very creative in content. You can play professionally and get good. You can also be on the leaderboards as number one. For example, I watched a video about teamfight tactics where it's very hard to, I guess, make money off of it. And reasons being like you're not this, you're not that. But they're saying that, for examples, if you want to, get known in the game, be number one on the leaderboards and hold it for a long time, because then people look at the leaderboards and they're like, oh, hey, this guy's been here for a while. Let's check out his shit. And, so just like being a professional and streaming and stuff can get you well known up there. But if you're not doing like a majority, a lot of it all together, you're just going to be that guy.
So would you say it has to be the perfect balance then between both the competitive aspect and the streaming aspect, like leaderboard wise?
Yes, because there's a league player that retired. His name was Double Lift. He's a well-known LCS player. He played, I think he played support. He played professionally for Team Liquid, TSM. I think there was just those two. Oh, and then Counter Logic Gaming, I believe you played for them too. But when he retired, everyone knew who Double Lift was because he's got a lot of LCS titles. He went to streaming, and he's been fine. Like once you're a pro, you go straight to streaming, you're set.
It's kind of so just to bring it back to sports, it's kind of like, yeah, you have a long, luxurious career in the NBA, and then you hit your mid-20s, early 30s, and then you're like, okay, now I can go be an analyst for ESPN, or I can be a commentator for one of the local stations. And that's kind of the path right now for esports. You put in your time, you run with your teams, and then but I do like the aspect of like they're not going to work for somebody, they're working for themselves at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And to back up on what Jake said, yeah, there are multiple ways to become like a cornerstone in a community. Fastest ways to be really good, like these guys are. Other ways are, like Jake said, create great content, or just like depending on the size of your of that community, and some of those are very niche. Like be like a sane person who isn't like a gatekeeper and keeping people out. Like be that welcoming person that's welcoming new people in. And in the sense of Organism, like you see Organism, solo streamer, hops onto the team, and then by the time he's back streaming solo, but he's doing it with Never Lost. So you kind of see this part of him where he's using these different organizations to grow as an organism, to continue to thrive and do better. So he's using those tools, and you see him lash out because people latch on to his success, and you see him. They call him PJ, and I like when I first started watching, I was like, oh, PJ, like that's cool. No, because he piss jar. Like, how are you going to call a kid PJ, short for piss jar? And so you could see that when he blew up on his family in Philadelphia, I was like, yes, fucking get them.
It literally hit a note because it's like, to me at least, when you looking in the from the outside in, seeing that, it's like, it's so true, not just in the esports in general, but it can be in any aspect of life. Because it's like you have all these people who like doubted you and made fun. Like even one of the ants was like, "Oh, I didn't know what you were doing, but they said you were doing good, so I thought you were doing good." It's like that right there says like you never gave a shit. The only reason you're around is because I have some type of I'm famous, or I have some type of money, or whatever. Like I'm more important than you are, and you're just coming around because I have all this going around. Like, because they had two sets of cameras. There's still the comment of. When Emma was, I always think it's Emma, the girl, the daughter
of the previous owner.
Yeah, when she's like, "Oh, is that your grandma?" He goes, "I think that's my aunt. I only seen her twice." I'm like, that does not, if that doesn't scream that you're an asshole, like not him, but to the family, you're an asshole.
And it's
like,
it's a funny scene, but it does cut deep. It's like this, he doesn't know who this person is. He only sees this person at holidays and when they're riding his back, his coattails.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, and you kind of see that with his communication, because that's one issue he has throughout the season, is that he's not communicating with Cheese or anybody on the team. And I mean, that comes from being a solo streamer. That's going to be a normal thing, going from solos to a team-based thing. But this is a kid that like wasn't really able to communicate anything he was doing with his loved ones. And now you're asking him to turn around and, hey, like, be a part of this. You need to talk. You need to get your voice heard.
Oh yeah, like the Puma scene when they're like, oh hey, he's got to do some shots from Puma. Or like when his family wanted him to go back home to
Celebrate.
have a party.
Yeah. And he's like, no, I've got shit to do. And they're like, well, you need to make time for family. And he's like, the fuck you mean? I've sat there with every fucking college basketball game there was, and you motherfuckers didn't come in until I was in the semifinals, 30 minutes away from home.
Right, and his brother Luke Tenney, who plays Rudy, is that basketball player that he talks about. Mm-hmm. Rudy's like his manager or agent, and Rudy gets told off too. But then Rudy at the finals still shows up. So Rudy's a real one. Rudy's a real one.
He redeems himself by still showing up, in my opinion. Like, yeah, what he did when they were younger is shitty, but let's face it, that's every brother relationship out there. I mean, I still remember Nick beating the crap out of me with my own crutch when we were young. Yeah, you. Remember when I was on crutches and you beat me with them?
That must have been another sibling.
We're canceled now.
Yeah, we're canceled.
But yeah, like Rudy. So I think Rudy is the audience. Like he's the audience role. So he is because he has no idea what the fuck's going on. In the trailer we just put up before the show, he's like, "Yo, Org just killed a guy that looked like Grimace's penis." He has no idea what anything is, but he's there, and. Again, going back to sports, like I know people who know dick about basketball, football, baseball, like all these different sports, but still go and like it's become a social thing. And I think this show is kind of like pointing in that direction. Like, hey, esports, like you may not know what the fuck is going on, but you're gonna have a good time watching this.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys want to go to LCS in September?
Where's that?
Chicago, right?
Chicago.
How much are tickets?
Last time I checked, I think it was like $100.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
The most expensive thing is going to be the ride there or fly there, whatever you do, and then the hotel, I guess.
Maybe I know some people. Maybe I know some people be willing to put us up for a night or two. Another member of the team. And I'm gonna bring these two up together because they're married. Kyle and April Braxton. They're like the foundation of the team. Kyle was I forget what his role on the team was when he was a player.
He was top, I believe.
Top. He was top. But now he's a coach, and he's a great fucking coach.
He's a fantastic of all the characters who show like a huge leap from like the beginning, like their origin up until the finale. Is him. He just does. He starts out as a player and is doing a better job than their coach at the time, and then just says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna become a coach." And just a
fucking great,
fantastic job.
He does a speech. I forget what episode it was. There's a speech at the end of I think it's the Nightfall or the playoffs episode.
Is it the one where he's like, "Remember this"?
Yeah, it's the first time. It's the first time Org has started communicating.
Yeah, it's the end of Nightfall.
And credit to the show, I thought he was going to give that speech, and then like somebody was going to come through with, "Hey, so and so's been traded. Hey, so and so. Hey, we just got sold to so and so." The show avoids doing that. Like like a show that I compared this show to a lot before the premiere, like because that's where I thought it was going to go, is Silicon Valley, because I thought, oh, this is going to be these elevated characters that are very very goofy, not really the real person, but like a goofy version of it. But no, these are real characters, and it's very nuanced. It's not giving you those TV tropes that know and kind of love or are expecting. They're like, no, we're just going to tell a good sports story.
No, they make it as realistic, I think, like realistic as possible. Seeing like if you look at Braxton is definitely he stays optimistic, but he keeps everybody grounded at the same time.
Well, and a lot of his work is keeping like Cream Cheese like tethered to the ground.
Yeah, because Cream Cheese will like either lose his shit and will like the first 3 episodes he threatens to like leave. Like he's like, "I'm done being fugitive if we keep Organism here. Don't bring Fruger back." And then from there it's like he basically just keeps like Cream Cheese tethered. he keeps praising Nightfall because Nightfall is such not only just a great character and a great person, but he's honestly probably one of their like the top players in their team.
What I like about Nightfall is that like he isn't flashy. You don't, and I'm not a flashy person in video games too, especially the ones I play. And people find it boring, and I'm just like, well, I'm trying to win. Like this is how I play. I don't care if it's not flashy or not. Yes, flashy looks cool. It's good for content, but I'm just trying to win.
Well, in Nightfall, not to get away from Kyle and April. Kyle has the coaching side, April has the business side, but they're a good mom and dad for like the team.
For all of them, yeah.
Because they
basically work as what didn't they start out in her apartment, like her place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if it was Braxton's at the time. I don't know if they were technically dating, but it was definitely her place. Like they literally had like bunk beds in multiple rooms, and like their gaming setup was in the living room. Like
it's a cute little family dynamic, and they all take care of each other. And that's what I want from my coaches. That's what I wanted from my coaches. Now on to Nightfall. Nightfall is the glue of the group. Nightfall really keeps those motherfuckers together. He so level-headed. He tells Cream Cheese when he's on some bullshit. He tells Organism when he's on some bullshit. Like Nightfall, like if you gave me a series where Nightfall got traded and we were following Nightfall, I'd be like, all right, let's see how Nightfall works into this team. I would want to see like his dynamic with every team. Because they're like, no matter the team, no matter the sport, you're going to have people like Cream Cheese and Organism. But what you really need is somebody like Nightfall.
And I actually feel bad for Nightfall too. Like not as like obviously Cream Cheese definitely has a more like sadder story, but I feel bad for Nightfall because his is more like he not only did he have to prove himself, he had to consistently do it. Because when he came, so at this point in the story, when Guru left, he replaced Guru, and if they would win a match, they would be like, he's a very, like Jake said, he's a very boring person. He's dull. He's celery. He's the human celery, basically. And if they lost, they would just like chant Guru, like, yeah, this guy sucks. Bring Guru back. He'll get wins. And he never loses. So he not only had to go through that, but at the same time, he was also a trade, and he came from South Korea. So that at that point in the story, it's like very like frowned upon. No one really did it. So it's like, why would you do that when you have all these prospects in North America? Why would you go into international and get somebody else? And even then, when he was playing for a South Korean team at the time, and he realized that they were never going to move him up to the big leagues, he was basically like in their academy, their learning, their training facility.
Well, Josh, the LCS in League of Legends is a big. It's boring. Like in reality, it's boring.
Well, right, compared to like. Yeah, compared
watched,
to like the North Korean, dear Lord, yeah, the North Koreans.
Oh yeah, because they dominate the game, but basically they're saying that in real life that LCS is dying, it's boring, all that stuff. I mean, this has come from pros. This has come from Tyler One. If you guys know who Tyler One is, he's like the number one streamer in League of Legends.
I mean, the people closest to the sport are always going to say, "Blah blah league is dying." I mean, look at what's going on with the PGA and the Live Tour. Look at any negotiate, like look at the MLB that was on strike earlier this year. Look at the NBA that's probably heading towards another strike here in a few years.
It's not league, it's the LCS. It's North America's championship series.
Yeah. Any athlete in any sport is going to say that key league or that key conference or division is not like, they're like, no, this is falling apart, like this could be better.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, we need to bring this in, or we need to make this change,
we need more money.
Yeah, we need more. Like they'll always make an excuse. Something is always going to be boring or needs to be improved, and it's not to say that they're wrong.
No, they're right. They're 100% right. Like
right. It's just more of a, you're not seeing any changes. They're keeping it the same and then waiting too long to make any change at all, or bring any content.
Let's pay the players, god damn it. The other thing about Nightfall is he's not very vocal about his issues with living in Guru's shadow. Like he's kind of got like a healthy grasp on that situation. And then if you mirror him along with Organism and Cream Cheese, he also has the most healthiest relationship with his family. Because his parents are at every game. They're there supporting him. He doesn't really give a shit that he's living in Guru's shadow, and he's there solving helping Cream Cheese and Organism like solve the problem between them. So again, it's another thing where it's like the through line is, hey, if you have a healthy relationship over here, you might have a healthy relationship over here. Let's see here. We talked about the ownership a little bit. I wasn't really into the whole ownership conversations going on.
Yeah, I kind of just like it came and went because you didn't really like see about it. Like it was like maybe 3 episodes, and then it kind of just Like I thought that was probably the most boring part of the show was the ownership stuff.
Well, I think the most interesting part of the ownership stuff is that he sold the team. I think he still with the Sacramento Kings for some reason, and now then he bought Never Lost.
No, he was fired from Sacramento.
Was he fired from Sacramento?
He was fired from them.
Let go or something like that. So then he buys Never Lost, and so you see him completely shift gears, kind of like Organism at the end, where he's like, you know what? I don't want to own a team. I want to own a brand. And you kind of see that shift to the brand side of it, which I think a lot of those owners buy teams and they think they have the brand mentality. They don't think like, hey, this is a functioning thing that has to win. This is the brand that I have to sell.
And honestly, the only thing I liked about the whole ownership aspect of it was when Cream Cheese would come back and talk shit about the Sacramento Kings. Yeah, we actually come out and win, all right? He's like, oh, that's a fun... just shit like that. It just cracked me up. Like, because it's like you're comparing 2 different... Like, it's like comparing like the PGA to the NBA. Like, that it doesn't work. There's no real comparison because it's 2 different things. Like, yeah, you have the wins and losses, but...
Well, and the LCS is only, 10 years old. It's not that old, so it's still going through growing pains, just like anything that's starting up. And then his daughter being around, I don't really know what her role is. Sounds like she was there to be a soundboard for Organism.
So if we're talking story wise, yes, but as far as plot wise, she was the social media manager for them, and she was also a streamer. So
her streaming name was Eminescence.
Yeah. So like later on, you find out that she left. She was there for Organism, but she left the organization to go stream for Never Lost.
Yeah. So she's kind of riding, not to be that guy, but she's kind of riding her dad's coattails wherever he's going.
I think that's mainly because she doesn't know where she wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a fault of her own. It's her like. Yeah, my dad can do all this stuff and I'll follow him for now, but it's just like, what do I want to do? What makes me happy?
And I hope they do more with her. I hope they have that comparison now that Organism is streaming. I really hope they have that comparison of like, but see, now that Organism was never lost, it's kind of tough. He has the same stuff available to him that she has. And you kind of saw it because Organism talks about like his old PC and how big a piece of shit it was. But I wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see more of the, your big streamers who are backed by dollars versus your streamers who have no monies whatsoever. And I hope that's something they explore with Neversoft in season 2.
I think they will. I think they will explore it just because you got to think they're trying to build this brand and have all these people move into these complexes where they'll do all this streaming. Mm-hmm. And it's going to have to bring all these new people in. It's going to have to talk about how there's a difference between being a professional player and a professional streamer and being somebody who's a greenhorn to it. Like we don't have all these resources. We don't have a 3090 in our computers. Like I remember for the longest time looking for a GP format with all this stuff that was going on. I'm sure that's going to be a huge aspect of when you're a professional, you have all these avenues of being able to get all these resources and all these materials. And when you're someone like us, everyday users, it's kind of hard. You have to do you bite the bullet and buy the scalpers stuff for double the price, or do you wait until someone sells, or what at that point it's gonna have to show there's a huge difference and these are some of the avenues they have to go across. Not only that, but obtaining the fans or followers and keeping them and showing that you're still relevant.
Let's see, looking at the rest of these characters, Foresight and Guru both suck. Foresight seemed like a great character, and then
he's an asshole.
And then he became more of an asshole as it went on.
I love that last episode when they're shaking the hands and Cream Cheese is like, "Oh yeah, Foresight, you're still a bitch."
I think the best line in the show comes from Organism in episode 2. The "Hey, it's okay. I still think you're a good player." And I think that's a perfect line to describe both Foresight and Guru, because they're both shitty. Because if you think about it, like, hey, it's okay, I still think you're a good player. Yeah, that's something you'd say if you beat someone who's supposed to be better than you. But also, they're both shitty people. They're both really shitty people. And I think the thing I like Guru a little more just because Guru is the kind of person who knows he's a shitty person.
But it accepts it. He just absorbs it as his personality.
It's his personality. It's part of his brand. And Foresight is just an asshole to be an asshole.
No, like I really did think like Foresight was like a really good guy. I was like, man, he's just, you know, he's on a different team. He has to do what he can. And then when he did that oops, I'm like, dude, you're a fucking like I don't care who you are, even if you were best friend, that's an asshole thing to do, especially knowing that like
bros,
that's supposed to be your friend.
I got mad when that happened in the show. I got mad. I legit got mad.
But I do love the fact that when they came back there, they all typed in "oops."
Yeah,
it's like I'll type it.
And you know that moment because like you'll be in the Discord with the boys and like someone will be an asshole and then you be oh hey we just fucked this guy up. Oops.
Yep.
And just throw it right back at him.
He teabagged on us. All right, okay, bro, let's go in and teabag on him now.
The last episode made me cry, and I didn't think it was going to make me cry.
It made me tear up because of the whole Yumi lore. I didn't know anything about Yumi's lore until that.
That Yumi lore. As Cream Cheese says, it's his favorite cat story.
Yumi
the illiterate cat.
The illiterate cat.
But yeah, you see Cream Cheese's major flaw through Yumi. That he attaches, like he finds someone to attach to, and then when that person either detaches or puts some space in between him and Cream Cheese turns a little self-destructive. And then same thing with Organism. Like Organism gets all this extra pressure. He gets people literally riding his coattails or like riding his shoulders to the top, and it adds pressure. So then for Cream Cheese to tell his family off, or not Cream Cheese, for Organism to tell his family off, basically shucking them off his shoulders, and then have the whole team, especially Cream Cheese, who was like riding his dick in that last episode, like, dude, you are so good. Like,
you're the best player.
Basically adding that pressure Organism just got rid of right back on. And then like, so they end up winning the LCS championship. Cream Cheese finally gets that victory. People suspect he's going to retire, but he doesn't. And then they go into Worlds. And we don't get to see much of Worlds. We just see them partying, have a good time. Which Worlds kind of gave me like a, remember high school track where like you had conference and then you had sectionals and then state. Worlds kind of gave me like that track cycle of things. Like, oh shit, we just won conference. And then like now you're in districts or whatever the fuck with like the teams that you beat, like one team that you beat and a bunch of other new teams. Mm-hmm. But you're goofing off because you won what you thought you were going to win. But there's always that one guy that was like, nah, man. And that was Organism here. Like he wanted to stay up. He wanted to practice when all of them wanted to do karaoke. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing there is we don't get to see Worlds. They get stomped. What was it? 1-4, 1-5 or something like that.
1-5. Yeah.
And that's it. That's the end of the season. They go back to set up for practice, and Org is gone. Like Org is now with Never Lost. And did they bring Frugger back?
So
they were hinting at it.
They were hinting at it, but like when he's like doing his little interview thing on camera, it still says that he's in Dignitas. So I'm not sure if they're going to still get him.
I wonder if they're gonna like make a trade or something to get him.
Dude, if they trade fucking Nightfall for Frugger, I am fucking rioting.
No, I don't think it'd be like a couple people from their academy would be my guess.
Okay, I just oh god, I might have to watch some LCS after this. But Frugger's just kind of a yes man. I don't know how good Frugger is.
He is that one, like, because I was thinking that too. He's kind of like, if you tell him to do something, he's like, yeah, okay. Like he's just there. He's just there. That's what he is.
And we all need that guy every once in a while, but that kind of guy is not that's not going to be healthy for Cream Cheese. He doesn't need a yes man. He needs someone like Organism who's going to call out bullshit.
I think what's going to happen is they're going to bring him back and it's just not going to work out. Like it's going to be Cream Cheese back to his old ways. Mm-hmm. and it's going to be basically them trying to get Organism back or finding somebody like Organism.
Because now that they've won the LCS championship, at this point, like let's say the show gets like 5 more seasons, like it becomes Worlds now. It becomes winning Worlds, which is something that I guess in real life, no North American team has won Worlds either.
Nope, never.
And
Never.
Organism becomes obsessed with like climbing the Korean ladder,
the Korean server ladder.
Yeah. So, and I mean, at that point, what's the point of climbing the solo ladder? Because like it's so superficial. Like, yeah, you're at the top of the ladder.
That's not going to change anything.
Maybe that gets you drafted onto a team, but I mean, it really depends on what your never lost contract looks like, I guess.
Well, my whole thing with it too was, okay, fine, you want to be the best that there is. Well, just because you're like Jake said, just because you're the best in the server doesn't mean you're the best ever. There's people in that tournament, the Worlds tournament, who probably don't play that much, but play enough to like for practice, but don't care about their rank. They're just constantly doing it. Plus, you got Smurf accounts, and then you have everything.
It's a team game.
So it's like you could sit there and practice all you want and be number 1 or be top 10 in that server. It's not going to change anything though. You're maybe good by yourself and your stats show it, but in a team setting where it matters, it doesn't matter.
Being number 1 on the ladder, and it's funny that his brother played basketball, so you can make this direct comparison. Being number 1 on the ladder is like being number 1 at one-on-one basketball at the park.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to get you mad respect, and people are going to know that you're really fucking good. But when it comes to getting on a team, being a great team player, winning a championship, it's going to do diddly squat for you.
If you think about it, the beginning when he started playing for Fugitive, like they were doing bad because I guess he just wasn't able to communicate. He was always doing solos.
Well, and they went to that streamer party, which I really like. Looking back at it, that streamer party makes more sense now that he's at Neverlost.
Mm-hmm.
But Cream Cheese blows up on him at that party, rightfully so, and says like, "Dude, do you want to be on this team or do you want to be a streamer? Because it feels right now like you want to be a fucking streamer."
Yeah.
They actually had some cameos in that.
They have a bunch of cameos that went over my head that I'm sure like if it was like someone who was like in the scene and knew, they'd be like, "Oh, dude, cameo!" Like I'm sure they had a shit ton of cameos that I just completely over my head.
The only one I remember was Skara.
Yes, Scar won't let me upstairs.
Yeah.
Well, and I wonder because it'd be really. They probably won't do this, but I wonder if they plan on expanding out into other leagues, like not just League of Legends, but like, are they going to look at like a Valorant team
or Apex
or like any?
Well, I wonder I bet you they will, because you have to think there are some streamers who have hop ship from chip.
Oh, CS:GO would be a nice one.
Yeah, you can introduce like someone going from CS:GO to League of Legends or something like that, and like because it's a real thing. You have people who get tired of one game, or there's not enough change, or people are very toxic, and they'll go into the next game.
Well, I don't
think someone will go from League of Legends to CS:GO.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just using it as an example.
So
they'll go from Dota 2 to League of Legends.
No, it would probably just be Riot Games, since Riot does have some producers on the show, or executive producers.
Well, then you could say what TFT, right? TFT.
Their new fighting game they're working on.
Yeah.
Valorant. I could see Valorant being one. Like, I could see that being a storyline where, like, hey, like, this guy used to play League. This guy's now a Valorant player. He was pretty good. We should bring him off of Valorant and come back to this. I could see them doing something like that. I could also see them trying to, I don't know, maybe following another team.
I feel I could see that too. Another team. I kind of want more cameos, because, like, Scar is known in League of Legends. Like, I could see him do Tower 1, double lifts, any league, or Faker. Hell, pro players. Hell, they can even put like XQC in there and Pokemon if they wanted to.
All right, guys, we are running long, but we're gonna finish up with what everyone's either favorite line or favorite like running joke or moment in the show. I'll go first. Mine is the fact that Cream Cheese, no matter what the dining situation is, if they're like at a fine restaurant or somewhere, will fucking find a way to bring fast food.
Yes.
Yep.
He'll
Yep.
like there was one scene, I think they're in Korea and they're asking Nightfall about like, hey, you guys got In and Out over here, and there's just a whole conversation about like what fast food chains are over in his hometown.
I mean, I got something similar to that when it was the last episode. It's like, oh yeah, I've only been here like twice, so I'm kind of like the go-to guy here. But then again, there's 2 players on our team that are from here.
Honestly, I think mine is definitely how dumb cream cheese is. But what a fake name, Mark Rubin. I didn't know what an STD was, so I had to look it up. And it's a real thing.
You know what? I'm proud of us that we were able to go through a whole episode about players and not bring up the fact that his name used to be Nut Milk.
Yes.
I didn't want to be that guy. I
Well,
thought
now,
one of you
now
guys
it's
was gonna
out.
be it.
Now Nut Milk is out. By the way, I had it up on screen earlier. Forgot to mention it. They do have Anal Angst on sale for $8.49. You save 51 cents if you buy it now.
So
Where's it coming from?
I don't know, but it's coming from Professor Payne.
Oh boy.
I mean, are we saying we have to buy it just so we can try it?
We have to
No,
try
I'm
some
not
Anal
dying
Angst.
today.
I'll try some Anal Angst.
Nick, if you send me the link, I'll buy it and we'll try it.
You
shit,
know
say-
damn well that name, just the name of that,
Say
you're gonna
less.
have a bloody butthole.
I mean, I'd be disappointed if I didn't, right?
Wait, are we gonna take it like a shot like they did in the show?
Yeah, I'll do a shot of Anal Angst.
Wait, was it just the I can't remember. Was it just the hot sauce or was it also a shot of Patron with it?
I have no idea. I'm not doing a shot of Patron though.
I think they just did shots.
I think it
of
was just
sauce.
hot sauce because it was during the ownership episode where they thought they were gonna get bought. Their words, not mine. They thought they were gonna get bought by the hot girl, and they ended up getting sold to
A faceless company.
Yeah. Any
that's
last
an-
thoughts on players, gentlemen?
Really good show. Highly recommend it. Give it a try.
What about you, Jake?
Oh yeah, I loved it. Anything that's like in relation to video games that I play or like enjoy, like I'm that's it's my jam. I love it. Can't wait for Arcane season 2.
I'm so glad I gave you guys, or gave Jake at least, my login to watch the show.
Oh no, I used it too.
I'm so glad that we're all watching the show on my login, you fuckers. I liked this. We should definitely do more TV centric episodes. This was fun.
Next episode, yeah, that's all.
Jake has nothing.
On the next episode, Jake's gonna remember what he was saying.
All right.
Will he remember?
So I will actually be the next episode guy. On the next episode, we will get back to 2011. We got to do Q3, and we were actually just talking about this before show. Q3 in 2011 was actually pretty hopping. So that'll be a fun episode. We'll also do a new quiz. We're about 2 weeks now. We're about 2 weeks, 3 weeks from the next speed cap, which I think will be my turn, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll find something next week that I can speed cap in 2 weeks. As always, guys, if you haven't, please rate and review us wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever. We love stars. We want all the stars. You can find me on Twitter at @ThatKaufman. Find me on Twitch and YouTube at NickFatKnight. More on the YouTube side. I do need to get back to Twitch. I've been thinking about getting back to Twitch lately, boys. Jake, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. I've actually started uploading on TikTok, and it's actually doing really well.
Good for you, TikTok boy. What about you, Josh?
Just Twitter currently at I'm Josh Saying. I'm trying to figure out my life right now, so we'll see where it goes.
Josh is figuring out his life. He started in Florida. What a sack of shit.
Well,
he brought back a MAGA flag and COVID. Off to a great start,
dude,
Josh.
he's my president, okay?
Oh, God,
be
no.
cool.
No, we're cutting that. We're cutting that. Oh, God.
Well, just cut that a couple times.
It would be interesting. You know how I brought up like going to LCS and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to do like a live podcast there while it's going on.
That'd be dope. I would have no idea what I'm talking about, but I would fake it till I make it.
Yeah, Jake would have to be like the main talker because I'm like, I would know some terms, but then they'd be like some of the ones I wasn't sure. Like they said, they kept saying like flashing and. What
So
was the other
it's
one they used?
it's a 2-day event, and I looked up the prices. It was like $60 per ticket.
It's not bad. The only thing I have against it is that I'll be in Chicago in October, like the first weekend.
Uh-huh.
So it would really just depend on how the timeline lines up.
Yeah, this was like September 17th, I believe.
I mean, that'd be perfect for me because my anniversary is the 22nd, and I can avoid that talk.
Yeah, I think it's the 17th.
But babe, it's the LCS. I have to go.
All right, guys,
Babe,
we're
it's
we're wrapping this up right now. Everybody,
All right, wrap
thank
it
you
up.
for listening. This has been Smashing Game Time. We hope you had a smashing great time. We will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.
Have
Bye.
a great time.